2 minutes ago, the rules changed. And if you are on an Australian pension right now, what just happened could directly affect your payments, starting sooner than you think. Welcome back to Move Smart AUS, the channel that cuts through the noise and gives you the real information you need to protect your Centrelink payments. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe right now, because what we are covering today is one of the most significant shifts in Australian pension policy we have seen in years, and most people have absolutely no idea it is happening. Thousands of Australians who are currently receiving the age pension, disability support pension, carer payment, or other Centrelink income support payments are at risk of having their payments reduced or cancelled entirely, not because they have done anything dishonest, not because they are trying to rort the system, but because the rules have changed and nobody told them. That is what we are here to fix today. In this video, we are going to walk you through exactly what has changed, who is affected, why so many people are about to receive letters from Services Australia, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to make sure your payments are protected. Stay with us until the end, because the steps we share at the close of this video could be the difference between keeping your pension and losing it. Let us start with what has actually changed and why it matters so much right now. Services Australia has updated its compliance framework in 2026, expanding its data matching capabilities and tightening the rules around what recipients must report and when. This is not a small administrative update. This is a system-wide shift in how Centrelink identifies, investigates, and acts on potential overpayments and breaches of payment conditions. The expanded data matching system now pulls information in real time from the Australian Taxation Office, state and territory land registries, financial institutions, share registries, and even international travel records. What this means in practical terms is that Centrelink now knows about changes in your financial situation often before you have had a chance to report them yourself. And if there is a discrepancy between what their data shows and what you have reported, you will receive a compliance review notice, and your payment can be suspended while that review is underway. The first major change that is catching people off guard involves the asset thresholds. The asset limits that determine whether you are eligible for a full or part pension have been revised, and for many recipients, those adjustments are significant. Assets include everything outside of your primary home, your savings accounts, term deposits, shares and managed funds, investment properties, caravans, boats, and even some superannuation balances depending on your age and circumstances. Here is where it gets serious. If the total value of your assets has increased, perhaps because your investment portfolio has grown, because a property you own has gone up in value, or because you received an inheritance or a gift, and you have not reported that change to Centrelink, you are now in breach of your payment obligations. Under the updated rules, that can trigger an immediate compliance action. Many people assume that Centrelink only checks their assets once a year at review time. That is no longer the case. The data matching happens continuously, and the notices are going out now. The second major area of change involves income reporting. If you or your partner earns any income from employment, casual work, self-employment, rental properties, or investments, that income must be reported accurately and on time. The updated rules have lowered the tolerance for reporting errors, and the system is now automatically flagging inconsistencies between declared income and what the tax records show. People who have been casually rounding figures, estimating, or simply forgetting to include smaller income sources are now finding themselves the subject of formal debt notices and requests for repayment of amounts going back years. The third significant change relates to relationship status and living arrangements. Centrelink defines your relationship in a specific way, and whether you are considered single or a member of a couple affects your payment rate dramatically. If your living situation has changed, if you have started sharing a home with someone, if a relationship has ended, or if you have entered into a new partnership, and you have not notified Centrelink, that is considered a failure to report a change in circumstances. Under the 2026 compliance framework, this is being treated with far less leniency than it was previously. The fourth area is overseas travel and residency compliance. If you have spent time outside of Australia, the portability rules that apply to your payment are strict and vary depending on which payment you receive. The age pension has different portability rules to the disability support pension, and both are different again from payments like the carer payment. With international travel having surged in recent years, Services Australia is now cross-referencing passport and immigration data as part of its compliance checks. If you were overseas for longer than the allowable period and your payment continued at the same rate, you may be receiving a letter about that very soon. Now, here is what you need to do. The most important thing you can do right now is not wait for a letter to arrive. Take action today. The first step is to log into your MyGov account and go directly to your Centrelink inbox. Read every single message in there, including anything that has been sitting unread for weeks or months. A message in your MyGov inbox is considered formal communication from the government. If there is a request for information or a review notice in there that you have not responded to, that clock is already ticking. The second step is to do a full personal audit of your assets and income right now. Sit down with your bank statements, your investment summaries, your superannuation statements, and any records of income you or your partner receive. Check whether the figures you have reported to Centrelink match what is actually in your accounts. If there is any gap between what you have declared and what the truth is, report that change today. Voluntary disclosure is always treated more favorably than being caught by a data match. The third step is to check the current asset and income thresholds on the Services Australia website. These are updated regularly, and the version you checked last year may no longer be accurate. Confirm that your current situation still falls within the eligible range for your payment type. If you are close to the threshold, you need to monitor this regularly going forward. The fourth step is to update all of your personal contact details through MyGov. Make sure your current address, phone number, and email address are correct. Centrelink will send compliance notices to the contact details they have on file. If those details are outdated and you miss a notice, that is not a valid reason to appeal a cancellation. The fifth step, if you are at all unsure about your situation, is to contact a free financial information service officer through Services Australia. These officers are specifically trained to help pension recipients understand how the rules apply to their individual circumstances. The service is confidential and completely free of charge. If you have already received a cancellation or suspension notice and you believe the decision is wrong, you have the right to request a formal review. Do not let that deadline pass. The internal review process exists precisely for situations where the system gets it wrong, and it does happen. The bottom line is this: the pension rules have changed, the compliance system has been upgraded, and thousands of Australians are going to be affected. The people who protect their payments will be the ones who act now, before a letter arrives on their doorstep. At Move Smart AUS, this is exactly why we are here, to make sure you are never the last to know. If this video has helped you, please like it and share it with someone you know who is on Centrelink. Subscribe to Move Smart AUS so you get every update as soon as it drops. Your pension is worth protecting, and now you know exactly how to do it.